Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gray Man Prepping. Come on, there, got to get it working here. Technical difficulties with all the stuff from the solar flares going on. Welcome to Survival Saturday, and tonight's topic, or today's topic, whatever it is for where you're at. Collapse happens before you are ready. Oh, oh no! What are you going to do? All right, before we jump into that, let me go up here and get the chat up here and say hi to everybody. All right, first one in was CR, waving the pink hand. Then Troop 1351. Okay, they're one of the survivalist level members here, and so they got the gift they send out quarterly to survivalist level members, and yeah, so they got a 2-pack of ferro rods, and they're giving them out to the scouts and the troop there. That the next two that earn their firing chip, which is it's a class. They got to take a little class on fire safety, show how to start a fire, make kindle the tinder, the kindling, everything else, and do that. So they're getting that. Next is CB at Hugo Homestead, and then Walt Rogers is here, and he's also thanking me for the feral rides. He's also a survivalist level member. And Phelan Clan Wolf came in. Yeah, he's taking his over to on Tuesday, probably to give it to the troop to give out to the new scouts. All right, Moon Over Miami came in, and let's see here. Well, the troop's been a member for 8 months, and they say they miss me as a scoutmaster. I miss all the scouts and working with them. Next is Oliver Wendell Douglas, aka CB's better half. CB's probably be mad at me for saying that, but then let's see, Jay came in, then Alicia, Autism Mom, and King Poopa is here. Hey, Dustin. Sarah Boss is here. And Courtney's here, Wide Family Farm. And it looks like King Poopa and Sarah Bass are planning a fishing trip. Sarah Boss. Grammy Karen's in the house. Oh, and Phelan Clan Wolf gave us a $5 super chat. And yes, I will talk about that here in a minute. And let's see, Prepper 101 is in the house. And Tammy Rebel Canners is here. And the Queen of the North is here, both as Lori J and as Prairie Rider. Ooh, and Prairie Rider's getting ads. It's yeah. I gotta either laugh or cry about this. Several people have mentioned to me that they're not getting ads on my regular videos, but they're getting ads on the live stream. Come on, YouTube, it's supposed to be the other way around. Ads go on the regular videos, not on the live streams. So CR is saying buy a bunch of TPs the first thing. Well, that's what a lot of people think. Ever since back, since I've been tracking this stuff back in 1971 with the Sylmar earthquake. First thing gone from the stores was toilet paper, then milk, and then bread. There was no problem with delivering food back then, but everybody went out and bought out all the toilet paper, milk, and bread. It's like the milk's going to go bad if you bought like 4 or 5 gallons there. Anyways. In the hospital. Okay, sorry. Prairie Rider says in the hospital. That's still love. Cool, good. At least it's still love. All right. Urban Garden Chronicles, welcome. And see, getting down close to the bottom here, I think. And got another super chat here from Alicia. Woohoo! And let's see here. All right, everybody's talking back and forth to each other there, and I hit the bottom. All right. Okay, so yeah, since November 12th, Grayman Prepping Channel here has been frozen at the low 80s. I might go up to 184 and then down to 182, 180. 1580 down to 1580, back right there in the lower ones from between 1582 to 1584, bouncing back and forth. And once I hit 1585, and 5 minutes later, I went back down again. And this has been going on for over a month. And last night it was at, I think it was 1584. This morning, 1603. Woohoo! And then a little while ago, when I posted the thing on the community tab, I was up to 1605. So now I got to plan out the 1600 subscriber giveaway here for Grayman Prepping Channel. Well, thank you very much. All righty. So let's see here. Before we jump into the main topic, what other information was on? Oh, so we had last night we had a great giveaway. A couple of people in here that weren't there last night. Your name came up. I'm not saying who. Don't want to get anybody mad right now, but yeah. So several channel members missed out on a $5 Amazon gift card. Now, as mentioned there, several people, Phelan, Troop 1351, Walt Rogers, got their Amazon ferrule rod gift packages. I tried to send one to Prairie Rider. Being in Canada, and Amazon Canada didn't want to let me do it without me having to be able to put in her phone number. Didn't want my phone number. It wanted her phone number. So I just sent her the price of the ferrule rods. And so basically those across the sea or those out of the United States will be getting for their we'll get the for the quarterly gift. Those that are members of the survivalist level will get their quarterly gift as an Amazon gift card. That way, if you don't want it to like with the ferrule rod or little camp stuff, you don't want that, you can put it on something something else you do want. Chaos World Slime. Caitlin is here. Hey. What about the giveaway? All right. Well, so when I do the giveaway here, I'm gonna put out a video on it. Exactly what's going to happen on it, I haven't figured it out. I just kind of gave up on it because I was stuck there for so long at it. So okay, I'll worry about it if I ever break 1600. So I'll get that out there. All righty. What else is going on? Slowly working out on the shop project out there. Tweaked my knee. I don't know. I didn't actually tweak my knee. Have you ever been walking along and all of a sudden you're like, oh, my ankle. And you think you rolled your ankle, but you're walking on a smooth sidewalk and it's just a nerve pinch. Well, the same thing happened to me with my knee going up. I was walking out to work in the shop, walking across the smooth concrete. All of a sudden my knee goes, it's like, geez, dang, ow. Like all the muscles around the knee went numb for a half second as I stepped. I didn't go down, but it's just like, ow. And so yesterday I did yesterday I did an evening. I did a little wiring out there because the knee stopped hurting. This morning I was out there doing a little bit and then it started hurting again. So I'm back. I came back in the house, letting it rest up. I've just about got the one area totally enclosed and insulated. I got 2 1/4 sheets of OBS to put up, and then the ceiling will be done. And then I just got 2 sheets to put on the to reduce the monster entryway down to a more usable and controllable stuff. All right, so let's jump over here. We're going to talk about this. The collapse happens before you are ready. Now, how many people think I'm talking about everything's totally falling apart? I mean, it's the collapse of the world, and it's total SHTF. Tawaki. It's going to be decades before we recover and stuff like that. Hey, Glenn, how's it going? How to Garden is in the house. So if you're thinking that, that's not exactly what I'm talking about. The main point of tonight isn't about this. Come on, this work. Or this. Or this. Or this. Or this. Or this. And let's see what's the next one coming up here. Or this even. It's more along this lines. And this is some of the headlines. This was from October 29th, 1929. This is the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania Press. Huge losses in Wall Street. Sales set all-time record. So what I'm talking about, I'm talking mainly like an economic collapse or possible government collapse, but not where the government totally collapses, okay? But the main talking about this is the collapse happens before you are ready. For those that are set to keep thinking, they've been talking about stuff falling apart for years. I got plenty of time. It's not going to fall apart for decades. I hope you're right. But it's about, something happening, and all of a sudden there's other problems with supply chains and other stuff, banks shutting down. But back in the the Great Depression, there was a lot of unemployment lines, soup kitchens. There were all right. You look at this one here. Acme Employment Company had lots of jobs for people out working on farms. But these are city folks that want to go out and work on farms. Today, we see you going around, we see food banks with long lines at food banks. Long lines at food banks. Look at that line for the food bank of cars. And what's interesting, looking at some of those cars, this one didn't, I couldn't find the one I wanted. I found one where it showed Mercedes Benz in there, and Saabs and Subarus in the long lines. Hey, Mary Beth, how's it going? Hang on, what I just missed there. All right, Jay says, my theory, the collapse is going to be a slow, gradual decline. No one but the most serious prepping types will see it and be on the ready for it. Well, actually, yes and no. It's going to start out as a slow one, like it did for 1929. It actually started in 1927. Okay, they trace it back to 1927, and they saw the dip starting. And it started, and it got a little bit worse. And then all of a sudden it hit the breaking point and went boom. So yeah, but it was stuff going on. It was also like back in 2000 and come on, was it 2006, 2005? They started seeing the same thing when the housing bubble popped. All right, let's see if I can catch up here. Yeah, exactly. That's what happened. They didn't want to go out and spend the summer or the fall out there harvesting on there. There we go. And but so let's see here. Go on here. Okay, see, I got Chevys, I got Jeeps, I got Saab there, some other ones. Before I go to the banks, go back to the showing cars here and stuff. In 2018, 19, and 20, I was looking, trying to find a good price on an F450 or 550 four-wheel drive crew cab pickup, and the prices were about the cheapest one I found was $52,000. Those same trucks this year selling used are listed for over $60,000 more than they were new back in 2019. The new trucks of these are $95,000 for the cheapest one I can find. Yes, so a lot of people are hurting because prices have gotten jacked up so bad, and it was really bad. And yeah. The odd thing about depression, there were a lot of grocery stores that were full of food, but the problem is people weren't saving money. They were spending everything, living, the roaring 20s, right? They were spending everything, partying, doing everything, not really saving money. Well, some people were, some people weren't. And then when the Great Depression hit, all of a sudden they didn't have, companies were laying off people, sales dropped, manufacturing dropped. They were selling off everything they had, and the workers suddenly had no jobs, and they couldn't afford the food that was in the stores. And who just came in here? The roaming prepper. How you doing? So, and Lori's getting ads again. So, let's go on here. So, how many have been watching what's been going on for the last couple of years here with different banks closing branches? Like it says, this branch is temporarily closed. And the temporarily closed banks, 90% of them became permanent closed on the branches. Branch close. I found this little thing since 2013. The closing of branches in U.S. banks here, it was going along, and then they increased the number of closures, and then it started cutting back, and it started really improving. In 2019, it was better than it was in 2013. But no, we can't allow everything to go. We got to keep the populace under our thumbs and keep them under control. So we're going to fake a crisis here. And we all know what came out in the end of 2019, the Red Dragon, and of course everything went after that. Or did it? Or did it? Okay, and so going to some of the closures and stuff. But unemployment rates went boom, 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 up, and then started coming down again by the end of 2021. And actually, if you look how they dropped by the end of 2021, unemployment was dropping. People were going back to work. And you can see the big spike here, how it went up high and then came back down. It's unemployment here at the end of going up for 2021 was almost as it was back at the beginning of 2020. And if you look back here, it was better than it was. Unemployment was lower than it was in 2000, lower than it was in 1990, lower than it was in 1980. Kentucky's unemployment came down and has been going down and down. So 2022, it's down even lower. I thought I forgot to put that other slide in. I apologize. There's supposed to be another slide here on this one here. The branch closings went down, and in 2021 went down a little bit more in 2022, and started to rebound with branch openings in 2023. And shoot, I had another slide there on that. So there are problems out there, and people are hurting. People are suffering. Part of it is they're drinking the Kool-Aid. They're going along, oh, the government really wouldn't do that to us. You guys are just a bunch of conspiracy theorists. The government doesn't do that sort of thing. Well, the government does what the elected officials tells it to do. I'm sorry. I just saw Jay's comment. Well, Jay, you'd have to see, the problem with that is the censors would say, oh, no, that ain't the way it is. You got to have the Red Dragon killing Godzilla, not the other way around. Wrong one here. Yeah. And that's the problem is there are people who are actively looking and eligible for work, and there are those who are eligible and are no longer working. So they go, oh, well, see, they must have found jobs. They're no longer working. They got tired of it. And then there are those who were eligible and decided, screw this, I'm retiring. And they retired. Actually, I had a good job and I was working everything else, but it's like, okay, I see the way things are going. I got to get up here. We got to get the land. We got the land. I got to get all the land up here fixed for us so we can retire up here and get out of California. And yeah, so the unemployment numbers can be deceiving because there's those who get tired of looking and stop looking for a while. Then they sign back up again. And then there's those that, who are active, eligible to find work, but don't meet the qualifications for the field of endeavor they want. And that's another problem. Like we were talking about earlier about the city people didn't want to go out and work on the farms. There were jobs out there in the Depression. There were a lot of jobs. They didn't want to go do it. Yeah, people's heads are in the sands. They don't want to believe what's going on. And but anyways, one of the things that I know that we can do is just tell people, is don't go, oh, you got to prepare for the end of the world. No, don't tell people they got to prepare for the end of the world. Tell them they got to prepare for business problems, different stores closing down, people losing their jobs, the job market becoming tighter. And there are certain things here. I'm trying to bring up something here for you to, if I can find, there we go. Let's go down here. I got a publication email here. I want to refer back to it here. All right. Dozens of stores closed in 2023. And I'm checking all the rest of the ones here I got here ready to go. Okay. And I got another one I haven't used yet on the Midnight Ride, but since I'm not doing it this month. All right, so dozens of stores closed. Um, Bed Bath and Beyond um, here, and let's see, Bed Bath and Beyond. Others closing, not closing out totally, but closing a lot of their brick and mortar stores. Pharmacy giants CVS, Walgreens, and Rite Aid closed stores as demand for Red Dragon related services declined. That's a BS excuse that they're given. Target blamed the closure of a handful of metropolitan stores on spike in organized retail crime. Well, we saw that coming when they said, "Oh, we got to mask up, so we're not going to uh, uh, arrest all these ones for petty theft." Bed Bath and Beyond came back from the dead in a digital form, not brick and mortar, online only, after Overstock.com um, acquired it for the intellectual property access of the Bleeder change. The chain still planned to shutter 896 stores as part of its bankruptcy filing. Goes on, and there's more on that here. But yeah, there are a lot of stores that are shuttering. Foot Locker said it would shutter 545 stores, including 125 of its Champs Sporting Goods stores by the beginning of 2026. So that's a 2 years. They're planning on shutting down that. But yeah, so stores are being affected and being closed down. And then, of course, the one news thing here was alert: California kills 250,000 poultry due to bird flu. Wow, there was no talk about bird flu until they killed them all. Sounds like someone's pulling a fast one there. Hey, Laura Larson's in the house. Let's see, what else did I miss here? Kimberly's here. Yeah. Uh, uh, yeah. Last arson season to push, not, and from what I understand, a lot of the wildfire arsonists were never caught. All righty. So, what is the big purpose of all this information I'm throwing out here now that we're halfway through? Get your friends, well, right down here on the bottom here. Remember, if you help others get prepared, they will have their own supplies and won't be coming after yours. So, the thing is, a lot of people say, like I said back near the beginning here, is people are going, "Oh yeah, you've been saying this stuff for nothing's happened. I got plenty of time to get prepared." Well, you need to encourage your friends to get prepared, family members and stuff. And if they say, "Oh well, we have plenty of time. It's been going on for years," remind them of several things. But first, hey, Suladine, how's it going? Let them know, like, oh, well, let's see. The ball jars used to be tempered glass. They used to temper the glass of the canning jars so you could out freeze in it or can in it. Well, they're no longer tempered, and jars are just falling apart in the canners. So, yeah, you should have gotten all your jars 10 years ago or 5 years ago, even. The other one, or things are changing. Fortunately, we inherited a bunch of Pyrex from my mom, but Pyrex changed the types of sand they're using to make their cookware and stuff, and it's no longer high tempered glass. It's the soda lime glass, which if you take that and you put, a warm plate or cookware, cake pan, glass cake, Pyrex cake pan into water, poosh, it breaks. And there's plenty of videos on that. But, there is a lot of the the daily use stuff that my grandparents used is no longer high quality. It's cheap crap. And stuff's getting cheaper all the time. There are a few companies like All American and Presto are still making good pressure cookers, cookers/canners. Hey, MB Heritage Farms, how's it going? And so unfortunately, there are too many people with their heads in the sand thinking, our government's not going to do this to us. We got plenty of time to prep. They're going to take care of us. The big disasters aren't going to happen. They've been worrying about it for years. There's a bunch of conspiracy theorists pushing prepping stuff. It's occult and stuff. And they don't realize, no, we're trying to return people to the way, the people born in the late 1800s, early 1900s did things. Well, there are some of the jars that they're not, I wouldn't say exploding, they're cracking. So basically you go to pull it out and it's cracked around the bottom, and the jar looks good till you pick it up and everything. And if Tammy were here, Tammy could come. If Tammy was still here, she could come up and say something. But if you look up difference between Pyrex in all capital letters versus Pyrex in all lower letters, there's some great videos on it and great articles on it as well, and that stuff. But there are people just are living too much paycheck to paycheck and wasting their paycheck on superfluous pleasure items rather than getting serious about what they need to do. Exactly, Jay. The cheap stuff from 50, 60 years ago will outperform, outlast the new stuff today, because a lot of the new stuff today, appliances, are designed to fail in a couple of years. Oh, prepping the jar. They are the they say canning jar. They are like balls, canning jars. And some of the other companies canning jars, and they've cut back on the quality of the jars because we need to get these jars out right away. People are going crazy and want to buy canning jars. And so they skipped the process of tempering the glass to get the jars out there. And they go, wow, we're making a lot of money. Hey, Rip Curl Readiness. They go, wow, we're making a lot of money. We don't need to temper the glass. And if it breaks, they're going to buy more jars. Yeah, let's see here. Just okay, just checking the side chat. Everybody saying hi to everybody. All right. So, basically, all right, give you an example. And so 30 some odd years ago, I married the staff sergeant. She's an accountant. One of the first things she did was restructure what we were spending stuff on. So, curtailed my getting all the neat stuff I wanted to get, and put that money to as extra on the house payments. And then we cut back on our going out to dinner, going out to the movies. When the price of going for me and my wife going to a movie was more than waiting and buying the DVD when it came out, we stopped going to the movies and we just buy the DVD. Of course, we also had, at that time, we had a daughter and 2 boys. So the price of all of us going out there was insanely amount compared to just waiting and buying the DVD. So the money we were saving went to the house. Well, and then she got she was what we were watching the interest rates, and when interest rates got low enough, she refinanced the house from a 30-year loan to a 15-year loan. Cost us $58 a month more for a 15-year loan. But wait a minute, she's putting all these extra $100 on it a month, and so the 15-year loan was paid off in like 12 years. And so by the time my daughter went to college, the house was paid for. All right, roaming prepper, take it easy. Let's see. Okay. Mm-hmm. Good point. Yes, absolutely. Rummage sales, estate sales. Look for estate sales, because as the older generation, older than me, is passing away, the younger kids and grandkids don't want the stuff, and people are picking it up cheap. Yeah. And then the other thing, which people are drinking the Kool-Aid on, like in the gallons for, I got to have the latest and greatest iPhone, which doesn't do much more than the current one I have, but it's the latest and greatest, and I got to have it. Oh, I just got to have it. I got to have it. I got to have it. This is the cheapest phone that will work on my plan. It was a freebie to replace the old one because they took out the 3G network and said everybody had to have 4G. All right, let's go down here. Let's see what's going on here. Actually, we were all put on an allowance. And basically, it's like, okay, do you really need to get that semi-automatic 12-gauge shotgun with the 50-round drum magazine on it? Well, if we stay in California, I might have, but so, but this is the fun stuff. As hey, having been a single guy for so long and getting married, it's like, okay, got to change priorities. And some people don't change their priorities. Yeah, and so I'm looking at. I've been getting on my nieces and nephews because they post on Facebook. Oh yeah, what up, partner? You're standing there with all the beers and stuff, and I go, "How much did you spend on alcohol at that party? Could you have gotten some more better ammunition for your hunting rifle? Could you gotten that better scope you've been talking about for your hunting rifle if you stopped partying for a couple months?" They're like, yeah, I guess I could have. Thank you so much. Could you be putting that money on the house to pay it off several years earlier? Oh, yeah. And just, so the house we bought across the street in 2016 was on Rose here. So the house we bought across the street, the original compound house here in Idaho, bought in 2016, was on a 30-year loan. And I'm trying to remember what Chris said. I think we're down to 5 years or 4 years of payments on it because she's paying double payments on it. Because, we can. And also, she's also told the boys, hey, guys, you're over 21. You're living at home. You need to be paying rent. And she's charging them for rent. It's like, well, go look, see what you would have to pay to get a one-bedroom apartment somewhere else. And they go, no problem. We're going to shut up and keep paying rent. And it's so all the money she's quote collecting in rent is going on the property across the street, and on this one here, paying it down too. And soon as that one across the street is paid for, then all that money, all the monthly payments plus the extra she's putting on it goes on this house. And so doubling up on this house is going to get it'll be almost like quadrupling up on this house payments. In about 10 years, it'll be paid for. And that's if we keep the house in California. If we decide to pay that off, we're set. But pay it off. I mean, sell it, and once you up here, we're set. All right, I saw something in the side chat here. Okay, a couple things here. Get your ammo where you can get it, while you can. When I started working at DHS, there were people, I swear, every 6 months they were upgrading their phone, and they were dummies about it. They would just get a new phone with a new phone number. And it's like, no, you tell me you want to keep the old phone number. Oh, it's a hassle. It takes me 2 minutes longer, if that, to have them change data onto SIM cards and just keep the same phone number. But we had people like that changing their phone number every 6 months. And we had to call people and say, hey, you work for the federal government. You can't be doing that shit anymore. You need to get a phone number and keep it. You want to upgrade the phone? And some of them, finally got them all on board. Finally, to if an emergency, and what they were doing is they were changing the phone number, and not telling anybody. And Kaylin's in the house. And so the problem is that there are a lot of people are not even thinking about adding to the preps. Those that are adding to the preps and are starting to get prepared are going at it rather slow. Now, let me change that banner down below. So this has gone across enough. Got that number out there. Let's put this one up here. So one of the things to consider is, don't go at it as far as, you got to prepare for the end of the world, the nuclear strikes, everything. You got to prepare for stuff that happens constantly, repeatedly. It may not happen every year, but there is the economy goes up and it goes down, goes up and it goes down, goes up and it goes down. It's gonna continue to do that. And during the lean times, you can't be spending money frivolously on stuff that you don't need to have to survive. Oh, great! Now Laura got 2 commercials. Gone stupid platform. So it looks like if you got 2 commercials, were they skippable commercials, or were they little short 6-second or 15-second commercials, Laura? See, that's one of the things I really hate, the way they took our rights to say how we want the ads to go on our regular videos. Anyways, back to the topic at hand here. So there are some things that, all right, so Sulaudin has not had any commercials. Laura said one was short, the other was skippable. Cool. So that's usually the way it is on my regular videos. You get a short 15-second video, and then you get one that's 2 minutes or 5 minutes that's skippable. Or fortunately, I haven't seen those ones that are 55 minutes ads out lately. So, or the Quran. But yeah, it's like, you need to use common sense and think of, it's not eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow we may die. It's all right. Let's cut back to eat, drinking, and being merry. Let's enjoy what the basics. Plant a garden. Enjoy planting a garden, raising our own food, healthy food, without chemicals sprayed on it, and get the other things we need to do when everything goes. And even if it's just a short, hiccup, part, whatever you want to call it, where people lose their job for a while. My sister, who's 10 years older than I am, back in, let me calculate the time right, this was the early 80s. Both her husband was working for the family's job, Bellows Pipeline, not oil pipeline. They made the pipes and stuff for getting the fiberglass pipes for gas stations and stuff like that, for plumbing gas stations together and everything else. And something happened, and they had some bad investments there, and the company went belly up. And so he lost his job. She got laid off from her job 2 weeks later, and fortunately, they had 2 years worth of food storage, and they had big. They had a substantial savings account set aside for emergencies, and so they were able to get along fine while they got jobs, and spent I think it was like 3 months getting new jobs and stuff, and getting back on their feet again. Yeah, and that's why with my newest phone, none of my old cases would fit it, so I had to get a new case. And wait a minute, this is no longer a USB Type B charger or a pin charger. I can't use any of my old chargers. It's got to be a Type C. So I have to buy some Type C chargers for it. Yeah, lay off the fast food. Lay out going out to eat for spending $40 on a meal for two people, where you could get a whole lot better stuff and cook it at home and have better than what that meal you went out for was. It's down to just filling holes, replacing what I use, except water and condo. Spacing is lacking. Yep. A month is about all you can prep. Now, was Uncle Al? No, it wasn't Uncle. Uncle Al was commenting on somebody else's thing on it. Somebody was in an apartment, had a really cheap apartment. I mean, they got it locked in on rent control and stuff, and they also picked up a really cheap storage locker, storage, thing at a storage facility. And so what they did was they were storing stuff there at the storage facility, because it was cheaper to have the storage facility and their super cheap apartment than there was to get a larger apartment. And then they were storing everything there. 55-gallon barrels of water, a bunch of 5-gallon, the 5-gallon containers of water, food, everything else. They were storing stuff there, and they would just go there, and they had it set up so when they wouldn't do the big roll-up door. They used one of the other doors to get in and out, one of the 3-foot wide pedestrian doors to get in and out, so nobody would see what they had in their storage thing. Yeah. it's a great idea if you're in an apartment and you got a really inexpensive apartment, and you can find a storage facility nearby in walking distance. And that's the thing too. You know, their thing was in walking distance. They could walk over one of those, sorry, I'm going to offend some people on it. We used to call them old lady shopping carts. And, you see the lady going down the street with her shopping cart. She go in the store, bag all her stuff up, put in her little cart, and wheel it back home. Where they go down and get stuff and bring it back. Yeah. And that's the problem. Like for Kaylin, not on the bus routes around where she can go, and nothing in walking distance. So if you are prepping and there are things you've been putting off and you've been spending your money on stuff, but you might not be, doing it just because I need to de-stress and stuff. There are other ways to de-stress than going out partying. Alcohol is not a good way to de-stress. There are other things to work on, but spend less on the frivolous wants and more on the needs. Because if something happens this winter time, early spring, like the chatter is about, I can't say too much about it. So I don't want to get other people in trouble, and I don't want to get in trouble about it. So I'm getting information from previous sources. And it may not happen at all, too. It's chatter. Just because it's chatter doesn't mean it's going to happen, but, Anyways, I'm sorry, I just read it here. Yeah, it could be. But you also got to be ready for people trying to break into storage units if things go really bad. And so if you can build up your supplies and something does happen this winter, like this, people are some people are getting worried about, it's not going to severely impact you like the person living paycheck to paycheck, going out partying, going to all the sporting events, going to all the movies and stuff like that. So you got to think smarter about prepping. And so hopefully that's something everybody here gets, and you can share this little tidbits. Don't try to overload people, friends, relatives, and coworkers with it. Tidbits. Spoon feed them a little at a time. Get them on board with doing little steps. Remember, prepping is a marathon, not a sprint. You're not seeing how fast you get down to the end of the 100 yards or the 440-yard quarter-mile run. You're out there doing a 62-mile run or a 26-mile run, a marathon. And so you take it, you go a little slower, a little easier, so you can, so you don't get burnt out right away. All right, so we're 5 minutes of here. I want to change the banner here for a second. Top here, where is it here? So if you have any suggestions for topics for either here on Gray Man Prepping or over on Camp Patton Family Compound, please email me suggestions. Suzanne Goulet has been sending me lots of information and news links to the suggestions. So when I'm doing these ones coming up here, you're getting more than just talking about it. Yeah, they weren't supposed to release, according to higher ups, whoever released that was not supposed to be releasing that. There are some things coming out, and they want to make sure they're ready and don't want anybody to know that they're getting ready for things. All right. Let me go over here and bring up the schedules, and so we'll go over. All right, so Monday on Camp Patton Family Compound, we're going to be talking about cookie mixes. hopefully I'll be able to get all the slides up with some recipes on there to share with you guys. And these are cookie mixes that you can put in a canning jar, vacuum seal it, and drop in, or just put in a canning jar, drop in oxygen, moisture absorbers, and put the lid on it and just seal it up. Just by tightening the lid tight and just let it sit on the shelf for a while to make desserts and cookies and stuff easier to do. The other thing is, sorry, what is that? Central Iowa towns recommend for drinking and cooking due to water level in the town's water source. Yeah. Yeah. Now, a good point, Jay, here before I go back to the schedule. So, now, just because the rental the storage unit you're renting out, has climate control on it, and it, so the temperature doesn't get above 75 degrees, and it doesn't get below freezing in the wintertime. If the power goes out, I bet you dollars to donuts, none of them have a backup generator to keep their climate control working. All right, so so Monday is talking about cookie mixes, also about using vacuum sealed bags to seal meals, Food Saver or Mylar bags to pre-mix your cookie and dessert mixes, brownies, cakes, and other stuff like that. Tuesday, back here on Gray Man Prepping for Tactical Tuesday. Don't wait for an emergency to prep, sort of like a little bit about tonight. But going to be talking just simpler stuff on Tuesday. Let's see about setting up your base, getting your base plan going, getting the most common emergencies in your area. We're working on that. All right. Friday. Friday is actually one that was recommended by Suzanne Goulet on Homestead. It's called AI generated photos and voices for scams. All right, we're going to talk about how there's a bunch of AI deep fake stuff out there right now. And we're going to be talking about that on Friday night on the Homestead. Next Saturday here, the topic is, are you ready for 2024? Okay, so are you ready for 2024? It's going to be the topic next Saturday. All right. I'm going to start a fight here. Oh yeah, you sure can. It's called the oatmeal scotchy. It's so much better than the Toll House chocolate chip. All right, fight's on. Let's see what everybody's comments is going to be on that one. Come on here. Check something up here. Make sure I get it right here. There. Okay, making sure that's right. Okay. Oh yeah. There are, and that's one of the things coming up here on one of the articles that Suzanne sent me was creating fake people that look like real people for different things, for advertising and stuff as well. So on the commercials you're watching, the people go, "Oh, I do this, and it's AI generated. You can't tell." All right, everyone. Stay happy. Don't let life get you down. Stay safe. Don't go out and do anything foolish. Keep adding to your preps. Water's number one. Food, medicine, clothing. Add a new skill to your prep, and we'll see you around. And hang on here. Oh, Kaylin's been. Oh, Kaylin. Okay, on your box of Quaker oatmeal. The not the quick stuff, the other stuff is the recipe for it. Usually it's on all of them. All right, everyone. I'll see you around, and take care.